Good morning.
Good morning.
There's nothing weird that time.
No, nothing weird. We actually started like normal people. You know what? It's because Hannah's not here. I blame Hannah for all the weird mishaps this podcast has.
I just felt being normal today.
No, I don't know about that. You were listening to some pretty sus videos on Instagram a minute ago. I don't know.
You were the one looking at the man's ass.
You were. Oh my God! Shut up. Okay. Anyway, hi everybody. Welcome to Lost in Louisville, a food podcast where we scour the streets of Louisville, Kentucky, trying to find the best grub to let you know if it's worth your time.
Or not.
Or not. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's not. Like sometimes, I'm just gonna put it out there. Rubbies.
I was going to say, chicken bones on the floor.
Chicken bones on the floor, not worth our time. God, what a classic episode. Even though this is only like episode 12 or something. What episode are we on, 11?
Maybe.
I don't know. This isn't like episode 400 billion like my other podcast.
Oh.
We don't do that many episodes.
Mm-mm.
This week, Cotton, where do we go?
African Best Restaurant.
Now, you may be wondering, what the hell is that? And why do we know what it is? Well, we saw it on the way to Gorilla Bob's Grub Shack, one of our previous episodes.
We took it the exact same path to get there, so it was very easy because I pretty much remembered it.
So we were like, you know what? We haven't really tried African food on the show yet. And honestly, I've never had African food in my life.
Never in my life have I had African food. I've seen it. I've seen people eat it.
Yep, same. I've never had it. So we were like, let's give it a whirl. Let's try it out. Because, Cotton suggested we go to a different place, and the place she suggested is very good. But I wanted to keep up some variation here. Because I feel like we've already been to a couple of restaurants that are very similar to that one.
And the other one. I suggested two places, which we will go eventually.
Yeah, because they're Louisville staples.
But, one was like a burger place, and the other place was like a pizza place, which we've already done, know, and pretty recently on the pizza.
Yeah.
So, really switched it up here, really changed gears.
I think that's kind of important, at least for me, because, there are tons of people from all kinds of different places in this city. There's a really nice Vietnamese place, right down the street from my house that we need to go to. It's cool just to see, other people's different takes on, their cultural food,
Right. Like Bob today learned what gravy was.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That was interesting.
Yeah, most places in the U.S. call it, pasta sauce, red sauce. But everywhere else, they call it gravy.
Yeah, they brought out my food, and they brought me some sauces, and the lady was like, oh, yeah, if this sauce is too hot, dip it in this gravy. But the gravy was, a tomato-based sauce, which I didn't expect. Very interesting. Any interesting stories this week, Cotton? Anything happening on your mind while we're on the beginning of the podcast still?
Yeah, nothing too crazy. Work's been chill. It was weird because, not too long ago it was St. Patrick's Day and March Madness was going on. So I said, yeah, fuck that. So I took that whole weekend off.
Is it normally bad?
Well, see, I've not worked there for that time period, but I was like St. Patrick's Day being on a Friday or Saturday, whatever it was, and having it being a March Madness weekend. No, thank you. I did hear there were plenty of ambulances, people getting way too trash, just stuff like that. So I was glad I missed it. I'm glad we have enough people to where I could have afforded to take off a whole weekend.
That's chill. Oh God, that's wild. See, that's the problem with where I work is nothing crazy happens, man. It's pretty chill unless something someone gets really hurt. Yeah. Actually, no, hold on. I do have a funny story.
There's a story from place of work that came to mind, but I'm not going to mention that on the podcast.
No. We don't want to talk about that. That is too far.
That was tragic.
That was tragic. No. So, how do I explain this without revealing my actual place of employment? Because I don't know if everyone should say that on the podcast. Basically, what I do is I push around big ass containers full of things to where they need to go. That's basically my whole job. And there are belts above where these containers run under. And so the tallest containers only clear the belts by a couple inches. Well, I guess maintenance was working on a belt and didn't tell anybody. So we have this giant ass container and we're pushing it down through this area. And they left the belt loose. So it snagged the bottom of the belt and ripped it. And I've never, thought I was going to get in trouble so much in my entire life. I was like, oh no, I'm fucking doomed. I'm going to get in trouble. My supervisor was like, no, Not your fault. Maintenance's fault. Maintenance came down there. They were pissed because this belt was basically ruined, and they had like taken it apart because they're working on it. And then my supervisor's like, no, don't worry about it. Whatever, it's fine. Then my full-timer comes down there, and he was like, no, not your fault. It's fine. Maintenance comes down there, and they're like bitching and complaining. Thank God my full-timer gave him the what for that. Because he was like, how stupid do you all have to be? First of all, we're one of the only buildings in the whole of where I work that can take the biggest size containers.
Yeah.
He was like, how stupid are you all to leave that belt low enough to where we have to smash into it with a container to get through there? Mm-hmm. He was like, we have 4 banks technically. We can't just not have one of them take containers. Right. Like, you guys are fucking idiots. And the maintenance was like, and he was like, no, go get your fucking soup. No, I'm not doing this. Like, fuck you. I was like, Jesus Christ. I almost said his name, but I won't put him on blast like that. Actually, he does go by a really funny nickname that I don't know if I get in trouble for saying because it's not his real name. Nah, I'll leave it out. But anyway, yeah, that's the most interesting thing that happened to me. Nothing crazy. I've been chilling, man.
Me too. It's been a really relaxing couple of weeks.
Just working on my podcast, like this podcast and the other podcast. Mm-hmm. Going to work. Like, I have not done anything too crazy.
Hopefully, Spotify soon.
Oh, maybe after. Well, you know what? I'll investigate after we get done recording because I might be able to do it today.
Oh, maybe this will be the first episode on Spotify.
Maybe. Mayhaps. I'll have to look into it. Also, there might be like. Actually, no. We don't. Well, I just realized we're already at an impasse.
We need a picture.
Yep, we don't have a picture. We should talk to he who shall not be named about that.
Yeah, he'll hook us up.
Yeah, he'll give us the details. We often don't talk about our other hobbies on this podcast. We have many other hobbies. Mm-hmm. There's something I want your opinion on podcast.
Lionel Johnson.
Yes, brother. Okay, so me and Cotton are very deeply into Warhammer 40,000. Warhammer 40K, if you will. The lore, the play, the models. You can't see it, but I have a whole shelf full of models right behind Cotton's noggin.
Plenty of shelves full. I do.
Oh my God, I can't wait till you move. You can put up all your models and stuff.
I know.
But what do you think about the return of the lion?
I hate it.
Why do you hate it? Bro, you're such a little chaos nepo baby.
No, it's not the fact that it's not chaos. It's the fact that it's another chaos Primarch.
No, it's not. Lionel Johnson is not a fucking chaos Primarch.
It is.
I will say the Dark Angels are the most chaos
exactly
Imperium faction. But that has nothing to do with that.
It should have been somebody else.
Who though? Like, come on. Who?
Corvus Corax would have been cool.
Corvus Corax would be very cool. Sorry if no one here that's listening is interested in 40K talk, but we're going to talk about it anyway. We need to fill the time.
Corvus Corax would have been very cool.
Okay, but what about my boy?
Especially because he could be big demon Primarch. Yeah.
No, bro, get out of here with that stupid. If they're coming back for the Imperium, they can't be demons.
He literally fights for the Imperium, but is like warped by the warp, and is a gigantic raven.
But he doesn't. But he does. He's not around for that. He's not there.
That's what I'm saying. You have him come back like that. Then they have something to combat Angron. That'd be awesome.
No, bro, get out of here. If he comes back as a giant crow raven monster mutant hybrid thing, he's evil.
No.
Yes.
No, his mind's a little messed up.
A little.
It is. But he's fighting for the cause out there.
No, bro.
It'd be cool.
Now, hear me out. Hear me out. You may say that I'm only saying this because it's the faction that I play.
No. That was my next one, leaving Russ.
Bring back the Russ.
Yeah. I think he makes more sense.
I think...
why has Lionel Johnson... I can't wait to see their lore reasoning for why Lionel Johnson's been sleeping for the past couple thousand years.
Well, he got fucking destroyed during the heresy. He got wrecked, bro.
Sure.
He's been healing on the rock
even though
for
he
the
came
past
late.
Millennia. Well, all right. No, you know.
Then why didn't any of the Dark Angels say, oh yeah, by the way, Lionel Johnson's fine. Gilliman, can you come help?
They did say Lionel Johnson's fine. They said he was on the rock healing. We've known that forever.
Then why didn't Gilliman go help?
Because what is Gilliman going to do?
Because he's got an Eldari asshole woman who can help him come back to life.
One time. That's a one-use thing.
For him.
For him only. Exactly. It's because they're like butt buddies or whatever.
Fair enough, but whatever. I just don't like Lionel Johnson. I mean, I like him in the lore. I just don't like...
Okay, can you at least admit the model's sick as hell?
Oh, yeah, it's a good model. I'm going to get one.
They're cool.
I'm going to get one just because I already have Magnus, Mortarion, and Gilliman.
Yeah, you don't have Angron, right?
Well, he's not out yet.
That model's not out yet?
No, you can't order it yet.
That's ridiculous. I've seen for months leaks of that model and exactly what it looks like, and it's still not out.
I know.
Oh, another thing. Did you see the 10th edition rules are going to be completely free?
Oh, are they?
The 10th edition Warhammer 40k rules are going to be completely free, like free data cards and everything.
Huh.
And they're streamlining them completely to
Damn.
like be super easy to play.
Okay.
Super exciting. He who not shall be named and I have talked about playing some Warhammer once 10th edition comes out.
Yeah, I'll probably try and play some more once 10th edition comes out. I hope they don't make it too simple. I just hope they don't fuck it up.
Well, okay, so basically what I could tell, what we talked about is basically they're just streamlining stuff to where it's all one rule. So like right now, certain models have the same rule but under different names. But now it's all just going to be the same rule with the same name. So it's like everyone will just have a Feel No Pain. It'll always be called a Feel No Pain. It'll always be like, whatever.
That sucks because I like the
lore.
The lore.
The fluff,
I
I do
love
too.
the names like Disgustingly Resilient or, Warp Charged or,
Yeah, the problem is that leads to a lot of clunky things with the rules, which sucks because I like it too. I like the fluff. It makes it feel better.
What I think it should have is I think it should have a fluff name and then in brackets just say Feel No Pain.
That would probably be better. I like that too, actually, yeah. That's nice.
Because, then whenever it comes down to a rules question, you can be like, okay, what is that? You go, oh, it's a Feel No Pain.
Yeah.
Because it clearly says, Disgusting Resilient. Not anymore. It hasn't been for a while, but I'm just going to say the old one. Disgusting Resilient. Feel No Pain.
You're really marking when you left the Warhammer scene with that one.
Oh, I know. I mean, I played plenty of games with Disgusting Resilient being, not a Feel No Pain. It's just still in my mind because I loved it so much because it was broken as hell.
No. It was broken as hell because you could not roll fives.
So let me put it this way. Revoltingly Resilient. Feel No Pain.
Yeah. God bless. On similar topic, but also kind of a tragic thing. And we talked about this in one of our Discords recently. Louisville lost a local business this week, which
out of
really
nowhere.
fucking sucks, and it really makes me sad.
Yeah. Hearts go out to Heroes.
Yeah, Heroes Comics and Games closed their doors this week. Very abruptly. Like I went there literally like 2 weeks ago.
So did I.
And bought paint and stuff and bought models. Like
I was gonna buy a board game. I ended up not buying one because they didn't have any that I was looking for.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Heroes is the place that the local Warhammer scene for Louisville, like, they play all their tournaments there. There's a Discord that, like, we all go there to play Warhammer. Mm-hmm. We go there and play BattleTech, which is, like, another miniature, like, mecha game.
Yeah.
Like, tons of people there were Magic tournaments.
People play D&D there, like, every other week.
Yeah, there was tons of terrain. Like, we had invested a lot of money and effort and time into this place.
Yeah.
Like, as a community, and it really, really sucks to see them close their doors.
And, like, some people, like, in tournaments, one of the rewards you get were, money there, like, in-store credit. Mm-hmm. And, people had hundreds of dollars of in-store credit that they just don't have anymore.
Yeah, and, like, the owner, Steve, was, like, the nicest dude. Like, he knew a lot of us by name, especially Laren. He knew Laren. Like, they were actually, like, close friends.
Yeah.
Steve did joke. He was like, maybe I'll have more time to play 40K now that the store's closed. I was like, Jesus Christ, Steve. But one of the big things there, like, if you wanted something and they didn't have it, you could walk up and they would give you a 10% discount if you had it or delivered to their store.
They would let you retail, like, not retail price, but, like, wholesale price, like,
yeah.
Just, this is how much we get it so that we would make a profit. But you know what? I'll get it for you.
Yeah, and they were super, super nice people. And apparently, like, it wasn't a financial issue at all. According to what I could find out, it was like a landlord problem.
Some sort of landlord thing, yeah.
Which really, really, really blows. Because, like, now we really don't have a place like that anymore.
No, I mean, as long as I've been in Indiana, I've been looking for places like that to go. But everyone I find is, like, super, super small. It doesn't actually sell very much 40K stuff, like maybe a small little section with some Intercessors, 1-star collecting box, and then that's it. And a bunch of board games and D&D shit. And it's like, we don't really have, I mean...
Cardinal, but that's mostly Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
It's mostly Magic under the card games.
I mean, we could go all the way to the Warhammer store.
Yeah, the GW store's small anyway.
Exactly.
And also, another local business closed like 2 months before this. Louisville Game Shop closed up. And that was the only other place I could think of.
Yeah, I was going to go there. I ended up going the day after they closed. I had the date wrong.
We tried to go like the week before they closed, but they ended up being closed the day we tried to go.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also like Upscale, which I think is Indiana, which they're in the Discord. They were talking about like they were basically like, we don't want to leech business off of Heroes, but like if you all need a place to play, we'll help out. And like if Steve and them need money or like financial help, we'll help them get their business restarted. Like they're really, really nice people. You can always go to E-Town, I guess, go to Hard Knock, but it's like 40 minutes.
So far away from me.
Oh, for you, yeah. I was about to say, for me, it's 40 minutes. For you, it'd be like an hour, bro.
I mean, it's almost an hour to get to my parents' house now.
God bless, man.
It's 15, 20 minutes past them, so.
Louisville just taking L's with local businesses lately. Yeah. It kind of sucks. I really hate to see it, you know?
Yeah, Iroquois Pizza.
That too. God bless. We've really been eating it.
I know. It's point of this podcast, save these places.
Yeah, go to these places. Try their food if it's worth it.
Support your local businesses.
Always. Always. That's why I like supporting local coffee shops.
Yeah. Like, I think local coffee is really, really good. You know, I mean,
especially here.
I was never really a big coffee person. I worked at Starbucks for a while.
Yeah.
And just got really into it because there's so many variations. It is a whole complex thing. I mean, they don't make you, but you have to go through a little bit of coffee training.
Yeah.
Like to understand the differences between like blonde and regular roasts and dark roasts, all that. I mean, there are big differences, even like health benefits and, deficits.
I just realized both the people I do podcasts with were fucking baristas at Starbucks.
Are you serious?
You and Ben. God damn it. It's almost like I have a type of friend that I make.
It was a fun place to work. It's not my type of people, I would have thought. I loved working there.
Yeah. I think it also helped that your girlfriend at the time worked there with you.
No, she didn't.
Didn't she work with you?
Oh, she didn't work with me. No, you're right. I completely forgot about that. She didn't work at that one. No, she worked at a different one.
Oh, I thought you worked at the same one as you.
No.
I knew you both worked at Starbucks at the same time, though.
Mm-hmm. I worked at one that was closer.
I see.
She wouldn't help open a store somewhere else.
I don't know. All right. I think it's about time for the inaugural question, Cotton. I think the audience already knows the answer.
Yeah.
We haven't really led with it. Did we get lost?
No.
We made it because it was on the way to the place we've already been.
Dude, it's supposed to be storming real bad today.
Yeah, that's why I planned on not going to work.
I was dreading. I was like, man, I'm glad this is a place where I've been past, so I kind of already know how to get there.
Yeah.
But, it takes me at least like 2 or 3 times going to a place in order to like know how to get there.
Sure.
So I was like, I vaguely know the directions, but shit, if it's pouring down rain, I can't see the road signs. I'm screwed.
Yeah, we talked about that in the car. Like, we've never tried to go to a place where it's been raining or something. Like, we've never had inclement weather be a problem.
Yeah, it's been sunny every time.
Which has been, I guess, a blessing. But also, like, we do this every 2 weeks, so it's kind of a hit or miss.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally got to be a fucking lightning strike in order for it to happen. So
I want to know. I want to try and go to a place one day when it's like snowing or something.
Oh my god!
I know I won't be the one driving, but
I mean, I can drive in the snow. But
I know, not Laren though. Laren can't drive in the snow. Don't let him drive. No. That's who we should have on the podcast. I'm putting it out there, because to me at least, it feels like of our time in college, we spent the most time together.
And Troy.
Well, yeah, Troy was also there. But it mostly felt like me, you, and Laren, and then Troy was there when he wasn't at work.
That's fair.
Or, I won't say that on the podcast, never mind.
Oh.
Yeah. I think you know where I was going to say with that one.
Put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, I'm sure you heard it more than I did.
No, I didn't really.
No, really? Because I did.
No.
Oh, my God, it was so bad. Oh,
I think they knew when I was there and just didn't.
Fair enough. But yeah, I think having Laren on as our first guest is a good leap off because, like, the audience hasn't met Laren. I want them to experience Laren. Or Ben. Yeah, well, Ben. See, Ben.
I'd like to do our crossover episode soon. I've told you what I want to do.
I know what you want to do, but I don't know when we'll have time because that's a lot of fucking time investment.
Hook me up with Ben.
Hook you up with Ben.
Let me get talking to him.
You can talk to Ben all you want. I'll give you his number. I don't fucking care. Oh, so speaking of Ben, on my other podcast, we normally record 2 episodes in a day. because it's more efficient that way.
Yeah.
And also, like, if we do 2 normal episodes, that puts us a week ahead. But if we do an episode and then, like, a special episode, because we put out tons of extra content for that other show.
Yeah.
Like, I think we only have 22 official episodes out, but there's, like, 36 total.
Yeah.
What we'll do is we'll record one, then we'll take a lunch, and then we'll record another. Ben has made it a mini game, basically, of him taking me places where he wants me to go on this podcast. And he'll go, yeah, you should take Cotton here. Every time.
How about next time, Ben, you just go, here, let's go to this place on your podcast.
Well, Ben is busy, and he can't really do stuff like record when we record. Because he has school.
That's fair, but I mean, get a non-D&D weekend, see if he's free on both days.
That's the problem, he's not.
Or get a week ahead, like
we
you are.
We are a week ahead. Well, we're currently not a week ahead.
Okay, we'll get back to being a week ahead, and then
we'll be a week ahead after we record tomorrow.
Then you put yourself even, or fuck it. I mean, we can record on one of our weeks where we don't normally record.
Either way.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. But yeah.
That's a logistics conversation we'll have to have on the podcast, but.
Yeah. What I was going to say is, I already know where I want to go next time we record. I told you what it is. I'm really excited. Not to disparage this place we haven't even talked about yet. Did you not remember? I texted you. I'm not going to spoil it for the audience, of course.
I'll cut it out. What?
No, I'm not going to say it. I'll just tell you after.
Okay.
But I'm very excited. But Ben has been taking me to all these random-ass places.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really widened my breadth of food because Ben has a very, let me put this, refined palate. Ben is not a trash person like me or you.
Yeah.
And he eats actual food. So these restaurants Ben's taking me to are actual restaurants with actually good food. And what I've learned is, man, I don't like eating slop. I'm used to eating slop all the time, and I am tired of it.
Yeah, I've been cooking a lot more at home. You know, like making actual full dinners and stuff, getting ready to be a dad, you know?
Yeah.
And fast food just doesn't hit right anymore.
No, it's not worth it.
Especially after this podcast, too. It just, I do not really, I get my regular at McDonald's and I go, man, it just sucks.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, that's okay. Like the other night, Shane, I take one of my friends home a couple times a week because he doesn't have a ride. And he was like, hey, I'm really hungry. Can we stop somewhere and get food on the way home? And I was like, sure. And I get off work at fucking, I don't know, 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like nothing fucking open. So
yeah.
the only thing open is like McDonald's. So we stopped at McDonald's and I got, first of all, their steak, or not their steak, their like bagels are back. Like,
steak, yeah.
So I got the steak, egg, and cheese bagel.
I love that one.
I thought I loved that one too. I thought I loved it. And then I got it and I ate it and I went, that was not satisfying at all.
It's just okay.
It's just okay. I think I finally gotten past the stage of being an early 20-something where fast food tastes good.
Right.
I'm just like, actually, okay, hold on. I lie. I will say this. Taco Bell still hits. I still love Taco Bell. Like, there's something about a quesarito that just slaps me right in my face.
Chalupa kind of man.
Never had a chalupa.
Chalupas are so good. I like fried stuff.
Fried stuff is good. But
especially when it comes to like Mexican food.
There's something about a quesarito, man. I just can't not love it. All right. Let's talk a little bit more about the restaurant because there is there's an aspect of this that I want to laugh about really fast. A child. So we get there and like you can't see through the main doors because they have a decal on them, like a full like, I don't know, opaque decal, so you can't see through them.
Mm-hmm.
So we roll up and I'm like, is this place open? Like, are we sure this place even exists?
Yeah.
Like, this looks like it may not be open. It is open. We come inside, and there's a lady at the counter, and like we order our food, and we're standing there ordering our food or whatever, and out of the corner of my eye, I'm like, something moving, and this little child comes running up, standing next to me, scared the piss out of me because I didn't expect him to come out of nowhere.
He was like emoting all over us. He was just doing little dances, spinning around. Then he grabbed onto the counter, started doing pull up. Yeah,
and it was making me laugh.
It was somebody's child, somebody that worked there's kid, and he was having the time of his life.
It was hilarious, dude. He was killing me.
Then he started staring at me. I was like, "What's up, man?" And he just kept staring. I went, okay.
And then we're sitting over there after we get our food, and I look over at him. He said, "Why do you keep looking at me?" And I was like, "Bro, you're fucking doing the gritty." all over the fucking restaurant. What do you mean? Why am I looking at you?
Oh,
What? No, I swear that kid had to have been like 4 or 5. That kid was not that old.
Yeah.
Like he was funny. He was killing
at
me.
most like 6.
He was really, really funny. So we come in, we order our food. I genuinely don't remember what you got or what I got.
Nope. So they all had semi-strange names. I know mine came with fried rice, like fried plantains, and jerk chicken.
Yeah, I also got the jerk chicken, even though I tried to get their fried chicken, but it wasn't available, which sucked because I've heard the African fried chicken is like really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I got their jerk chicken with fried plantains came with mine too. And then it came with 3 different sauces. One was the red, like, tomato gravy. Then there was a chili sauce. And then there was some other brown sauce that was not hot, nor was it savory. It was sweet.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was. I know this is not very helpful, but also, you don't get a menu at the table. You get a menu at the counter, and you order at the counter.
This is probably the weirdest aspect of this place. And it's, you order as if you're ordering takeout at, like, a Chinese takeout place. But then they're like, oh yeah, you can sit down if you want.
Yeah, because I assume like
paid before we ate and everything. Like I felt like we were dining and dashing.
Yeah,
we
when
got
we
done
left.
eating our food, and we're just like, oh, I guess that's it. Got up and left.
Yep, a little bit weird, but and then also some. I don't know what kind of rice it was, but it was like rice with beans in it.
It had black eyed peas in it.
Was it black eyed peas?
It had to have been.
It tastes like black eyed peas.
It tastes just like black eyed peas. I'm pretty sure I looked and seen like a black eyed pea.
I love that we're doing a food podcast and we don't even know what kind of food we ate.
I know, but that's like kind of part of it. You know, you're not going to go to these places and know exactly what you're eating. We're helping you by telling us what we think we ate.
Trying to be helpful, I guess.
The main thing is we're going to tell you if it's good or not.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. I think that. Oh, and some
You had like spaghetti.
There was spaghetti on my plate.
Oh, and both the jerk chicken came with like fresh cut red onions, tomatoes, and cucumber on top.
Yeah, and lettuce.
And lettuce.
Like a little salad.
Mm-hmm. Right on top of the jerk chicken.
Which, can I be honest? I'm not a huge fan of salads. Like, they're fine. But I'm really sad that they threw it on top of the jerk chicken because then it meant the chicken skin got all soggy.
Yeah. But I liked how well it came off. And one thing I will say is we both tried something today that we've never had.
True. Yeah.
Now, I've never had plantains, which I feel like is a normal thing for a person to say. What
do you mean?
Well,
hold on. No. That's weird because I had plantains. And I lived in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
That's fair. But I'm going to say, I feel like most people, if they're going to, out of the 2 things that we're going to mention, plantain's going to be the one that they haven't had, if they haven't had one.
Okay.
What's the thing you tried for the first time today?
So let me preface this with, it's not
okay.
that I didn't, hold on, it's not that I'd never seen it, or I didn't know what it was.
We forgot to mention one thing that our meals came with.
Well, because they came out after the meal was delivered.
Yeah. She just kind of walked up with a little cup, dumped it on your plate, and said, you want one too? No, sure, why not?
Yeah. It's not that I didn't, it's not that I had never, like, attempted to have one. It's that as a kid, I thought, ew, that's gross.
Mm-hmm.
So then I just never got around to trying it. But as an adult, it doesn't gross me out. So I was like, oh, yeah, I'll try it. I had a hard-boiled egg for the first time today. Because as a kid, I was like, man, hard-boiled eggs are gross, man.
Oh,
That's not, don't laugh at me.
It's just funny scenario. I'm not laughing at you.
No, you are laughing at me.
I'm not laughing at you.
You're
I'm
laughing
at
at
the
me.
situation. It's just a funny thing.
Consensus on hard-boiled eggs. They're okay. Texture's terrible, but they're okay. Like, worst texture of almost anything I've ever put in my mouth.
Do you eat a runny egg?
Yes.
I love runny eggs.
I love runny eggs, too.
I feel like it still gives the same kind of mouthfeel as a runny egg.
No.
Like the yolk?
No, it has a much worse texture.
It's kind of powdery.
I forgot about something on my plate. That powder.
I don't know what that was. It was like garlicky, cheesy.
Like ground up croutons?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but it was delicious. I was dipping my chicken in it.
Yeah, I put a little bit of it in my rice.
It was
Stole
good.
A little bit.
Yeah, that's the food we got.
And my meal also came with that pepper sauce.
Yeah, the sauces were interesting because it
one.
was nothing I'd ever had before. So that was cool.
And another reason we can't tell you what it is that we got, like she knew, the lady who gave us our food obviously knew we had no idea what the fuck we were looking at.
Yeah.
Because she sat it down, then we were like, okay, We also had no utensils. We were sitting there, so I was like, man, I know that it is kind of like a cultural thing for these people to eat with their hands.
Yeah.
Fuck. And then she went, let me get you some utensils. She grabs her shit. She came back and said, and then we're like, all right, cool. And I was just kind of looking at it. I feel like you were just kind of looking at it. And then she went, okay, so these sauces.
Yeah, she like explained it to us because like I had never had any of this food before.
Mm-mm.
It was a very interesting experience. Like, I feel like maybe we should have tried. I know what it's called. There's this African style of bread that they make that you just fucking grab with your hands and rip it off the thing.
See, but I don't know
what
it's
dip
called.
it in stuff. Yeah, I don't know what it is either, but I was trying to find it on the menu to order it because I wanted to try it. But I can't remember what it was called.
See, and I'm showing my culture here. I don't know if it's a Middle Eastern thing or if it's an African thing, you know.
I think it's an African thing.
It might be.
I think so, yeah. I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
Sure.
This place is on the list of potential returns now.
It's true, yeah. They're all anything that does not receive a 21 is on the list of potential returns, and we've yet to give out a 21.
Correct.
So, just putting it out there. We can come back here. I do want to go back. I want to try some of the other stuff because I think I'll save it, actually. I'll save what I'm about to say. But do we have anything else we want to talk about before we get to the rating of the food? Cotton. Anything of interest?
Anything of interest.
Anything that is important to you that you want to put on blast on the podcast?
I feel like you're hinting that there's something I should be talking about.
No, I don't have anything. That's why I'm asking you. I'm vamping because I'm out of content to talk about for this episode, and I know it's going to be short.
This will probably be our shortest episode, which is interesting. Like it's not like
because Hannah's not here and we can't riff on her, man.
I know. Can't just rip on somebody.
I know.
It's not like we've gotten used to having a buffer or anything. It's just like nobody to dunk on this episode.
I know. Like you could dunk on me and I can dunk on you, but then who's gonna laugh?
I always laugh. Oh, I want to talk about this. Little bro. We get just sidetrack. Going back to the logistics of 2 podcasts. Gotta watch the Mandela Catalog. We have to, dude. I want to do it for Beware the Board.
I want to do it too, but I'm not the only one that does that podcast. I can't just like.
But it's 2 against 1. If he says no,
it's true. No, okay. It's not 2 against 1. That's not how this works. Because like, I told you this earlier. There were some. Let me put it this way. Me and Ben treat that podcast, and I think you and I treat this podcast a very similar way of like it's a 50-50 thing. If one of us doesn't want to do something, we don't do it.
Yeah,
because like that's it. So if Ben says no, I have no power. There's nothing I can do.
I don't think Ben will say no.
I don't think Ben will say no, but then there's also the logistics of when the fuck are we going to record that? Like when do we have time? I barely have time for this now. Like come on. Like, I would love to, but it's like between recording this, working, recording the other show and the extra episodes, and editing those episodes.
Ben working tonight?
Ben is, in fact, going to be at work tonight.
Damn.
Unlike me, who decided to use
vacation day.
Yeah.
Tell him to use vacation day.
He can't, because I'm already off.
You can't both take off?
No, fuck no. They won't let you do that. We don't have enough people for that.
Oh, damn.
I mean, there are only 10 people in my area.
Oh, that's fair.
So, like, if one of us is gone, like, they're down to 9.
That's
and
fair.
then if people call in, then they're probably down 2 or 3. And then they're getting railed.
That's fair. Well,
no, I know you want to do that, and I want to do that. But there are steps that need to be made before we can find it,
We'll have to get in a little group chat together and figure out a time that is possible.
Because also, like, we know the thing is
I'm pretty flexible. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll try to work with it, but like you said, that video is like 3 hours in total. If we watch all of them,
we watch all 4 parts.
We don't record like it usually takes us 3 hours to record a whole episode.
Right.
So spending 3 hours just on the actual watching of the content,
and that's another thing is like we could get lunch and watch it because like it's a YouTube series, right? Like know we could be doing that during a lunch break, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the whole recorded. Since if you want to have it like, because I know with what's her name, you did like a guest episode, like just her what she wanted to do or like what Ben thought she would like, right?
Yeah, that's what we did.
I mean, it could be the same thing, but I've just brought that to your table because neither of you've seen it.
What I'm saying is we'd have to record a pre, right, which is usually 30 minutes to an hour. Oh, I would say 15 to 45. Usually, like the before movie stuff, before the content stuff in this case, because it's not a movie, it's a YouTube video.
Uh-huh.
Then we sit down and we watch it. So we're already at almost 4 hours. Then we do a post, and because it's so long, the post will probably be long. So then that's probably, I don't know.
Well, see, there's not going to be like a whole lot of
hours.
facts or anything about it, I feel like.
But listen to me, Benjamin will dig. Benjamin has dug up some
Oh, that's fair. I mean, I've watched several videos of other people who have watched them as well. Like Markiplier and Jacksepticeye both did things on them, and they both, kind of gave their perspectives. And like being content creators, they can also talk to said content creators. So like they've talked about talking with them, and just kind of like these kinds of things. So it's there's information to dig up. I mean, it's analog horror. That's a whole other genre of shit, and I think he just does it the best. Because video games, more or less, try to do analog horror more than anything else. It's the only, like, actual video series that I've seen that's been like, this is a genre of horror that nobody really does. It's really interesting.
I've told you this in the car. If you're into analog horror, these videos, you should watch Skinamarink.
Right.
Me and Shane watched it. It scared the piss out of me. So it's like really scary.
So if you don't know what we're talking about, the Mandela catalog, it's if you look that up on YouTube, the volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4 will all show up. Alex Christier, I think is his name, something like that. All of his videos will pop up. But if you want to watch just like, and some of them are only like 2 minutes long. Like really short little content, just little blurbs, little stories. Some of them do feed into the main series. But really, if you just want to get the actual thing, just watch parts 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's about like skinwalkers basically, and one of them is a public service announcement. One of them is like cases of missing people and murder scenes and stuff like that. And I don't know, the fourth part's started off with the creation of the universe from the perspective of God. So like, it's very interesting. But they are creepy. I don't find very many things scary. Once we step into the realm of like real world, like actually going to Appalachia and doing stuff, that would be where I might cross a line and go, okay, I'm terrified.
I'm already scared of movies. I can't.
Movies don't really freak me out.
No, bro. Oh my God, no. No. Sometimes me and Ben finish a recording and I go, I need to like spend like 45 minutes in a corner somewhere. I'm just like, Jesus Christ. Like, we watched the first Rec movie. Have you ever heard of Rec? R-E-C?
No.
We did an episode on it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's a Spanish horror film
about
demons. And I almost fucking, like, cried my eyes out at the end of that movie. I came so close. It scared the absolute shit out of me, dude.
That's fair.
Like, there are some movies that me and Ben watch, and I finish them, and I go, I never want to watch anything like that ever again. And then a week later, guess what I'm doing?
Watching
it again.
In that category.
Oh, God. Sometimes I'm just like, Jesus Christ. But sometimes I have a good time.
Yeah.
Like, this Friday's episode that came out the week we're recording this, Tetsuo the Iron Man, pretty solid, fun movie. It's weird, because it's Japanese, like, they describe it as, I think it's Satsuka Cyberpunk, which is, it's very cool. Body horror cyberpunk, essentially, is what it's defined as. And it is fucking strange, because it's that genre from the 80s in Japan, and it's a low-budget independent film that some guy just made.
Okay.
And it is fucking insane. It is so cool.
We know that low-budget movies that are independent can sometimes be really good.
They can. Me and Ben have watched quite a few of them, and they're. I think we gave that movie a 4 out of 5 on the podcast.
Because My Bloody Valentine's independent, wasn't it?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
It's Canadian.
I know it's Canadian. I thought that it was just like a bunch of dudes.
Nah, I think they had an actual studio. I think they had an actual budget for that movie. That movie is really good, though.
It is.
The other one is the episode that's going to come out on Saturday, our April Fool's Day episode. That movie's also really good. Had a really good time with those two movies. And then there's the opposite of that, where I'm just like, we finish a movie and I want to die. Two ends of the spectrum. And every time Ben's like, what do you want to do for lunch? And I just go,
cry.
I just like, wait. I'm so just like,
go sit in the sunlight for a little bit.
Yeah, dude, it's so bad. Like, Like I think I've grown to appreciate horror movies because I do the other podcast, and I like some of them. Like hell, I even have a bunch of them on Blu-ray now because I like them so much. But sometimes I'm just like, this movie's crossed a line with me, man. I just can't.
I've been in like some paranormal situations in my life. Whether you think ghosts are real or not, you're wrong.
We've both been in a paranormal situation in our life.
Yeah. Can we talk about that now? Since you
didn't we tease that at the end of the last episode?
We did.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a great thing to talk about since we teased it. I forgot about this.
So, if you think ghosts aren't real, they are.
Ghosts are real. Yes,
100%.
Absolutely.
You know, like we don't understand so many things. I mean, not too long ago.
Oh my god.
Not too long ago, scientists discovered that there's a fucking ocean near the center of the Earth. Like, there are so many things about just the planet that we don't understand. There are so many things about our bodies that we don't understand. If you watch Breaking Bad, even, they break down all of the components of life and like the components of a human body down to the percentage, and there's still like a 0.000035% that they can't account for. We don't know where it is. It's not in elements. It's not in something. There's so much that we don't even know about our own selves. There's no way we could go into the metaphysical and just not know. I mean, there are too many things in this world.
So, I told you, we talked about skinwalkers a minute ago.
Yeah, that's what analog horror, or that's what Mandela Catalog's about.
I listened to this other podcast we both do. It's called Red Web. Highly recommend if you're into mysteries or true crime or cryptids or weird spooky stuff. Red Web,
they have
podcast.
A fantastic format. One of them knows everything and is explaining the story to the other one, and the other one's asking questions and learning about it along the way.
It is so good. I highly recommend that show. It's one of my favorite podcasts.
Me too.
I make the mistake of listening to it before I go to bed. Every night. And I told you I listened to their episode on
National Park System.
National Park disappearances last night before bed.
I've got an interesting thing to bring up about that as well. Did they talk about Teddy Roosevelt at all?
No.
No? Okay, so...
No, hold on. Can I get to where I'm going first? Because
go
this is relevant to skinwalkers and ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
And also how we don't understand the metaphysical.
Right.
Oh, we're really taking a turn. We had nothing to talk about, and now we're about to go on a tangent. Basically, one of the theories why people go disappearing in national parks is because there are skinwalkers in the national parks.
Mm.
The other theory is that there is some... So basically, if you look at... Okay, this is going to be really hard to explain because this is an audio podcast and this is a very visual concept. So let's say there is a creature that lives on this table that can only see in 2 dimensions, left or right.
Yeah.
Right? And let's say me, a 3rd-dimensional being, were to pick this thing up. The other things that are here that can see it would not see it get picked up. They would just think it disappeared.
Yeah.
Because it left their dimensional view. Who's to say there's not a 4th dimension?
Oh yeah, that is one big theory that I've heard of. Is like we can't see into the 4th dimension.
We don't even know what the 4th dimension even is.
Right. So if there was a 4th dimensional being that were to abduct something and take it to its plane, then there's no way you could see it.
No way. No one would even know. It would look like you just up and vanished.
Yep.
Crazy.
So that actually leads really into the national park theory of that they are intentional, like people are meant to go missing there.
Whoa.
So Teddy Roosevelt, he's the one who made the national park system like a thing.
Yeah.
So he believed in Bigfoot, he believed in the Wendigo, all that shit, like
fair
thoroughly.
There's tons of Native American folklore about the Wendigo.
Oh,
it's
absolutely
crazy.
It's wild. So he they say that they believe he started the national park system to kind of keep these things corralled in an area. That's why they've got like polices, there's all these like armed guards walking around, constant watch 24/7, all this shit. But people going missing, it's like, oh, well, there's all these uncharted cave systems here. And, if you're a feral beast that, only cares about eating people or eating other things, whatever, don't care for making your own house or anything, you're gonna live inside these cave systems that nobody knows how to get inside of. So they were like, if we mark it up as these people are just going missing because they're going into these caves and whatever, we can just say, oh well, they just got lost and we can't go in there because we don't know how to chart it, we don't know where they could have gone, waste too much manpower. It's just like we just appease these things, we just let them take people just to take people.
Wild.
Yep.
We sound like a couple of crazy conspiracy theorists now, huh?
We do, but I mean, it's fun.
It is fun.
It's fun to lose your mind a little bit.
That's completely fair. God. Man, the Wendigo is such a cool creature to think about. Because, Until Dawn popularized it, right? But before Until Dawn, there was all kinds of content about the Wendigo. There was this, oh God, this is old. an old ass what show? It was a TV show. God, what is the name of the show? It's something about tapes. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
It was on it was on like MTV or something, like late at night. But basically, it was this show where they would take stories like folklore and then show you a visual of it and recreate it. And it was crazy. And they did an episode on the Wendigo, and as a child, that scared the piss out of me.
Yeah.
Because it was genuinely really scary.
As a kid, when I was like 10 or 11, I used to hang out with one of somebody we went to school with. I'm talking to that asshole anymore, but we used to go run around in the woods, and we'd look for Bigfoot. We'd look for the Wendigo. We'd just like try and scout out for this shit because we were curious. I mean, cryptids are so weird, cryptic. You know, I mean,
they're awesome.
That's what it is.
They're real cool.
Terrifying to think that Mothman or the Jersey Devil or any of these things exist.
Jersey Devil's so cool. But
I mean, we live in semi-Appalachia country. We're close.
We're close, yeah.
So it's like, they're supposed to be around here if you look at on maps and shit. And man, as much as I want to go to Appalachia just to like hear the shit that people hear at night, I don't because I don't want to fuck with it.
You were telling me about what was an Instagram reel that you saw?
Yeah, it was a dude who with a GoPro on his helmet. He was riding his dirt bike in the woods. And he got to a part, there was like a couple of trees stacked on top of each other. And he was like, man, I'm just going to pick my thing up. He was like, that's where the gold's over there because nobody goes these ways. I'm not going to like waste my time climbing over this, picking my shit up. He got to it and he was pushing on and he was like, okay, well, I'm not going to be able to pick this up. So he started picking his bike up and he heard, help me, somebody screaming in the woods. And he's in the middle of nowhere. So he waited a second, heard something else. And then he waited another second. He was like, hello, is there somebody out there? And then just branches started cracking like something was running towards him. And he said, nope, got on his bike, turned around, and left. As fast as fucking possible. These people don't fuck around out there. There are so many stories where it's like, oh, you heard that? No, you didn't.
No, you run.
You didn't hear that.
You leave that alone.
You pretend. And people talk about this existential fear, this dread that they feel like when they're just kind of standing outside. That is like a hormonal thing in our bodies. It is the flight instinct. When you know a predator is about to prey on you, you know that you are about to be preyed upon. So you go, no. Your body is telling you, do not do this. And it's like, yeah, that's a real feeling that people have there. So
yeah,
I mean, like, holy shit.
It's a huge piece of Appalachian rule is if you hear screaming in the woods, no, you didn't. You go the other way.
Yep.
You do not, because a lot of the lore around Wendigos and Skinwalkers and stuff is they can mimic human sounds to draw you in so they can attack you. Like, it is... No. I went to West Virginia one time when I was 10, and I don't ever want to go back. I went for a funeral, and then I don't want to go back.
Yeah, Lauren and I drove through there when we were going to Maryland, and...
It's mountain country.
Yeah, even just, like, at the gas station we stopped at there, it was just weird. It's just, like... There's almost an ethereal feeling just standing there in the middle of the mountains.
Yep.
It's just, like... It's unknown.
It's this feeling of isolation, but also knowing that, like, you possibly are not the only thing out there.
You are never not the only you're never the only thing there.
Yeah.
Never. And it's like, I mean, let's just count bugs.
Yeah.
Like, think about how many insects there are, I mean, it's fucking crazy. You could just never know what's in a tree, behind a tree.
Yeah.
Just over a hill.
Mm-hmm. Wild. All right. I think that covers cryptid talk for this portion of the podcast.
We can get back on track now.
Yeah.
But it's just something to think about. I mean, it's crazy.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely crazy. Like, cryptids are one of those things that I have a deep, not obsession, but I'm very interested in. Because people like to think that we've mapped out every species that exists on the planet, that we know what every animal is, blah, 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 blah.
We discovered, like, a new frog the other day.
Exactly. We discover new species all the fucking time. All the time. Especially in the Amazon and stuff, and, like, these really, like, rich, biodiverse, like, biomes. We discover new plants, new animals all the time.
Think about the ocean.
The ocean. We have mapped less than 10% of the ocean or some shit like that. Yep. Like, it's crazy.
We know more about space than we do the ocean.
Exactly. So who's to say that there's not a fucking giant, like, monster at the bottom of the ocean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't know, right?
The Marianas Trench alone is so deep. And like I said, just to discredit that, let's go to the fact that, like I mentioned, there is an ocean near the core of the Earth.
That's wild.
And they have found, like through sonar or some shit, that there are microbial life there. There is something living in that water that it hibernates, it feeds off of minerals. It's like, how in the fuck is that even possible, for one? Two, there are multicellular beings there, not even just like archaea and stuff that's like one cell fucking organisms. There are multicellular organisms like us. Well, not like us, well, as far as we know.
Yeah.
There's shit that lives down there, you know?
Yep.
Wild.
Buck wild. All right, back to the restaurant and the food and stuff. You know, the
African food.
the premise of this podcast.
Third podcast incoming.
Oh my God, Ben and I talked about doing a second podcast. I'll talk about it after. It's funny.
Oh God.
We're not gonna do it because we don't have the time. But we said if we ever have the time, this would be a funny thing to do on the side. Do you want to go first? You want me to go first? Because I think it's about time for ratings anyway. We need to wrap up soon.
Yeah. So, I'll go first.
Okay.
So I'll just start off with, overall, it wasn't bad.
No, I was worried because it was a food from a culture I'd never had before. I was worried that I would not like it.
I agree.
Not because like I think African food is bad or anything, but it's different, you know? I was worried.
Right. You know, I mean, like, I think, you know, the first time you go to have Chinese food, you're like, you look at it and go, what the fuck?
Yeah, dude.
You know, the same thing when you look at sushi, you're like, huh?
Oh, yeah, I thought I was going to hate sushi the first time I had it.
And I don't like having things in my hands. I went to have crabs not that long ago, and I had to wipe my hands off every 2 minutes. I just hate it.
You sound like my mom.
So I was like, man, this culture, these people, they like to eat with their hands. Freaks me out. So, you know, all kinds of sticky shit, all kinds of different bread, different types of chicken, all kinds of different types of rice, which are all things that I like. But it's just different, you know. It's just, you know, when you don't know what you're expecting the worst.
Exactly.
So come in. I mean, overall, it was a weird atmosphere because we were the only people in there the whole time.
Yeah.
It was empty, other than the news that was playing, but it was some kind of weird like news app. So every now and again, it would just like go silent for about 5-10 minutes, and then just Russia is doing. Oh, Jesus Christ! Okay.
Yeah, and we were sitting right under the TV, so it was real loud.
Yeah. Another thing, I don't know if you noticed, but I sat forward, like hunched over, basically the entire time.
Yeah.
It's because I couldn't sit back. If I sat back, the seat went all the way back. Like the back of the booth was broken.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I did not realize what was happening.
Uh-huh. That's why I kept reaching back and trying to pull it forward because I'd like try to put my weight on. It was like, oh, it's okay. Oh, shit. Ordering's kind of weird. Paying before you eat's kind of weird.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say those are negative things.
I wouldn't say they're negative things. I think it's strange. It's not something I'm used to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't pay for a drink.
No.
But I don't know if you have to. But I assumed water was free, but then they brought us bottles of water when we asked for water.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like soda anyway, but, you know, I don't know. Strange.
We'd already paid, so I guess it was included, right?
Right? So,
and I mean, we paid a pretty okay amount.
Yeah.
Like, it was honestly, it was pretty fairly priced with the amount of food we got, too.
Yeah. I paid like $19.
I was like 22, yeah.
And, you know, they have medium packs and large packs. So we got medium packs.
I don't know. The large must be a lot of food.
It must be enormous.
Because the medium was pretty big.
Oh, my God. I mean, it was probably like a good 3 servings of rice.
There was a lot of rice.
So much rice. I mean, there was one good-sized piece of chicken. Like,
chicken, yeah.
Not a bad-sized piece of chicken. And then plenty of plantain.
Those plantains were good.
Like, I've never had plantains, and they were really, really good. It tastes much different than what I expected. Like, when I first bit into it, I forgot that it had plantains, so I was like, is this like a sweet potato? What is this? So it's, if you've never had it, it's pretty good. It's similar to, like I said, I thought it kind of tasted like a sweet potato, but then a little bit kind of like cucumber-ish.
Mm-hmm.
But
fair enough. I never really thought about how to explain a plantain to somebody who hadn't had one. Because I've had a plantain, and I was like, it tastes like plantain.
Right. So, like I said, just biting into it, not knowing what it was, that's why I was like, oh, okay, yeah. And then I think you said plantain. I went, oh, fuck, yeah, that's plantain.
It was very interesting having something sweet like that with a savory meal. I liked it. It was sort of like a palate cleanser kind of thing.
It really was. It really helps, you know, knock the heat off of whatever the fuck that pepper sauce was.
God. Because that stuff was deadly.
I mixed that throughout my rice. And the rice already had a little bit of spice in it.
Your rice was spicier than mine. Mine wasn't spicy.
And that was before I mixed the shit in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I mixed the shit in it. It was pretty spicy. Not like overkill or anything, but Hannah wouldn't have eaten it.
Well, Hannah would have sniffed this restaurant and ran away.
Probably. She wouldn't have gotten jerk chicken, I tell you that.
She would have like, can you boil this chicken for me, please? I'll dip it in ketchup. That might be a little too spicy even for me. I hope you listen to this, Hannah, and I'll go ahead and apologize now. I'm sorry.
I'll just tell her as soon as I see her later.
Okay.
The jerk chicken, really good. It was really juicy, not dry at all. Like I kind of expected it to be a little bit dry. Because normally you do like jerk chicken, it is a little dry, because you're putting so much shit into it.
Yeah, so much salt, so much like seasoning and stuff. It draws out the moisture.
It was really moist. The skin was perfect. I mean, it fell apart.
Oh, yeah, it was good.
Fell right off the bone. It was really good. I really liked the rice. I really liked everything. I don't think there's anything that I could complain about it. I'm probably gonna jump to. I'm gonna jump to a 19.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm surprised by that.
I am too. It's not what I expected from food. If you take the overall atmosphere, because I kind of try to take the atmosphere into effect with some of these places.
Yeah.
But places like that, I feel like you're probably intended to take it as carryout.
Yeah, I literally said that as we pulled up.
I think that's the intention. So I'm taking that out of it. So from a perspective, if I would have taken that out, 19.
Interesting. So here's what's interesting. I think if I had gotten something else, my score would be very different.
I agree, because your rice was very different.
Yeah, my rice. So it's not that it was bad, but it was not what I was expecting.
Oh, I guess I should mention what the rice was. My fried rice was a fried rice, like a brown rice, with had peas and carrots and some kind of spice in it.
Yeah, yours was really good. I tried it. I got the rice with beans in it, and it was mostly beans.
Mm-hmm.
And it had this like interesting consistency. And not that I don't like beans, but my lord, it was overpowering.
It was a lot of bean.
It was a lot of bean, and I wasn't really expecting that. And not that it tasted bad, but it just wasn't what I was expecting. The chicken was really good, though. Like, I think I bit into that piece of chicken, and I think my face lit up like a Christmas tree. I was like, oh my God, it's so good. It was delicious. The spaghetti was interesting. I don't know. It didn't add anything because it was just more carbs with the extra rice, and it wasn't flavored spaghetti. It was like just cooked spaghetti.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was the powder, which was like a cheesy garlic crouton crumbled up into a panko breadcrumb type mixture, which I was dipping my chicken in, and that was awesome. The salad was fine. I'm not like I said, I'm not a huge fan of salads.
I enjoyed it. I liked the bites that I got that had a little bit of cucumber on it with the chicken. I think it accented it really, really well, actually.
That makes sense. That's nice. I think that's everything that was on my plate. I think so.
Sauces. Rate your sauces.
Ooh, the sauces. I like the pepper sauce. It's hot, but it's good. The gravy was really good. And then that other brown sweet sauce, I don't know what that was, but it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hate it. Yeah, I just think that the rice underperformed for me because it was too much bean, not enough rice.
Fair.
But everything else was good. And the chicken was great. And the sauce was really good. So I think I'm sitting at like a 17. So an 18 average. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's pretty solid. For my first time having African food, pretty solid.
Yeah.
Oh, we forgot about the hard-boiled egg.
I didn't forget about it. I just didn't mention it.
Oh, I forgot about that. It doesn't affect my score because it tasted fine. The texture was terrible. It's a texture thing for me. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I just didn't care about it.
Fair enough.
I thought it was really funny that she just came and dumped one on your plate and then asked me if I wanted one too.
Yeah. Oh, the plantains. The plantains were really good.
Mm.
So good chicken, good plantains, good sauces. My only complaint is, and the thing is, if I had gotten your rice, I would have rated it higher. Because I think it was more of a thing of I didn't know what I wanted. And I didn't know what to order based on my palate.
And I think it's funny how we ordered something on the menu that they both looked pretty different when we ordered them. Got practically the same meal.
Yep. Yeah, almost the exact same meal. But I think the only big difference was the rice, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you got more sauces. And you had spaghetti.
Yeah, the spaghetti was interesting. But, All right. Well, I think that about wraps us up for this week's episode of Lost in Louisville.
Bit of a weird episode. Bit of weird entrees, bit of weird topics, but
yeah, we really bounced around a lot. You might have to cut out the bit where I go, I don't know what to talk about anymore.
I'll leave it in because it's funny that we go on for another 38 minutes for after that.
I was about to say, we looked at the clock about 32 minutes, and I was like, man, I'm really out of stuff to talk about. And then you went on, and then we just started a tangent, and it worked out.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the helm.
No, we fucking missed it again. Next time.
No, not next time.
No, next
We're
time.
We're talking about it now.
No,
we're
next time.
No,
Next
talk
time.
about it now.
Next
no,
time. Come on, bitch.
We can't say that we're going to talk about it and then completely forget about it again.
But it's fun. It's funny.
It's funny to me.
It's funny to me too, man.
We got to talk about it.
Let's save it for next time.
We're not going to remember.
I know we won't. That's the point. Okay, we could talk about it. We could talk about it.
So in college, we liked to play board games together. We'd stay up all night on nights that we didn't work and play board games.
Yeah. Not just like your run-of-the-mill board games. We're talking like
in-depth, like Risk Legacy, which is
Risk, but way more complicated.
Risk on crack.
Yeah.
Any game that has Legacy in the title, it's on crack.
Mm-hmm.
So we like to play this game called Betrayal of the House on the Hill.
Yep.
A lot of fun.
Very
It's
good game.
different pretty much every time you play. It's rare to get the same haunt over and over again. So basically, you play through the game. You're all on the same team, just exploring like a place. You're not really hurting each other or anything. Sometimes you get hurt by the environment. But then at some point, somebody will reveal the haunt through omens, and somebody will become a bad guy. Or multiple people will become the bad guy. Or nobody. Or there's a secret traitor. You don't know.
Yeah.
Lots of shit. It's different all the time. So we played the Legacy version.
Yeah.
Which is even more on crack.
It's crazy.
It's really crazy. So it's still all the same mechanics, except there's like a set storyline and you're going to get a certain haunt.
Yeah.
And you're creating your own story. You're trying to win overall. There's like a clock that's ticking down and it's got 13 on it.
Ooh.
But eventually you uncover this piece called the Helm.
Yeah. The Helm is basically a stone tablet thing. It's made of cardboard because it's a board game. Mm-hmm. But it's like a stone tablet. It's probably, I don't know, how big is that? 2 softballs?
It's about the size of a regular plate, like a medium-sized plate.
Yeah, size of a medium-sized plate. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. And basically the whole setup is don't disrespect the helm.
It says, it's like engraved on the front and back, like do not fuck with this thing. It is super... It comes from hell is what it does. In the board game, it comes from hell.
It is completely and totally supernatural.
Uh-huh. And it says, do not disrespect the helm. Whenever you are messing with the helm, you only touch it by the sides unless you are placing a sticker on it, which, you can mark the helm and get like certain boosts and advantages. But you can only do that once per game. So... Yeah. If you're the last person to fill in like a slot on the helm, you get like a crazy buff for the rest of that one. It's crazy.
It's super cool, super duper in-depth game. Very, very fun.
And it very highly stresses in the rules of the game on the front of the helm, on the back of the helm. Whenever, there's a card that's telling you to do something with the helm, it very much stresses only touch it by the sides.
Because if you touch it by the top or the bottom, by just grabbing it, bad things will happen.
Yes, it says that it will bring bad luck. It'll do all kinds of messed up things. Now, there is a part in the game where you do get to disrespect the helm.
That's different because
the rules telling you to do that.
Yeah.
So at one point, Troy said, you know what? Fuck the helm.
Well, Troy said, fuck the helm. What did he do to it? I don't even remember.
So I'm pretty sure that time he just smacked it because, whenever it told us to disrespect the helm, we all rubbed our balls on it.
Well, I didn't rub my balls on it. That was you guys.
That's fair.
I had nothing to do with that.
That was just funny.
That was funny to you guys.
It was basically like who can disrespect it the most.
Yeah, and whoever disrespected the most got like.
And it's funny because that happens after what we were about to explain. Like, we were totally like, fuck it.
Well, we're sitting at I'm trying to explain the setup of my dorm at this point because I lived in a dorm. So we're all sitting in my living room at a fold-out table on the couches surrounding it.
And on either side of the living room, completely like opposite from each other, there are rooms that they slept in.
Yeah, my bedroom, and then the other side is Troy's bedroom. And so I'm sitting on the couch. My bedroom's behind me. Troy's sitting across from me. He says, fuck the helm. And he fucking whaps it real hard on the table. And I'm like, I'm waiting to see if anything happens. Nothing happened. We're fine.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. 20 minutes go by.
I don't even know if it was that long.
It was a while because I'd forgotten that Troy had done it.
Uh-huh.
It had been a while.
And think about it. We've been playing this game for hours this night.
Yeah, we had. I mean, it was like a Saturday night. We had fuck all to do, so we've been playing because.
And I just want to ask about how long before that had you even touched your D&D dice?
Months. It had been months.
Put that into perspective.
Yeah. So basically, we're all sitting there, and all of a sudden, from my bedroom, we hear a fucking crash, We go in there. My D&D dice bag is open. First of all, it was completely closed up underneath my desk.
Yep.
And it looks like it has been tossed from the middle, like, back corner of my desk into my bed and opened and spilled all over the floor.
Yup.
And we're all sitting there and we're like, Troy, why the fuck did you touch the helm?
Yup.
Like, why did you think that was a good idea? And he was like, it seems I got you in trouble. I was like, fuck you.
For all places, it was your room.
For the next amount of time that I lived in that dorm, I was terrified.
I didn't know that.
I was hurt because ghosts are real.
I mean, yeah.
So I was like, what kind of what kind of spirit did Troy summon into my fucking dorm?
Right.
Like, what in the hell is wrong with him?
Yeah, I mean, that's not bullshit. That's 100% true. Like, we were all just, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, we were all sitting there like, what the hell? Because no one was in there. Like, it was just us. It was us four in my dorm. Oh, Laren was there. We haven't talked about Laren. Laren was also there.
Laren was there. Yeah, we were just like, what? And, like, I think we got up and looked around the whole dorm until you went in your room. And we're like, what the fuck?
Because my door was closed, and you can only get in my room. So the way they had it set up is you could scan your student ID to get in the front door. And then to get into the bedrooms, you also had to scan your student ID. So in case I left and didn't want my roommate in my room, they couldn't get in. So there was, like, no way anyone was in there. Like, literally 0% chance. And the way my dice bag was thrown, no way it just fell off my desk.
No.
Because it was tucked in the back corner behind all my other shit. Like, put away because we hadn't played D&D in months.
And that shit was undisturbed.
Yeah. It was like someone cherry-picked that thing up and chucked it. And I was just like, thank you, Troy.
We no longer disrespected the helm until it told us to.
Yep. I refused to touch that thing until it told us to. I was like, I am not getting some more bad juju because of Troy. Fuck that. All right, well.
Yeah, that's our supernatural story.
Yeah, that's our one supernatural encounter together. I mean, there was another one in my bedroom. In this room that you're sitting in right now.
Yeah, I wasn't here for that, though.
Well, yeah, I was here for that. So was my fucking dog. We're not getting into that. I need to wrap up this podcast.
That's okay.
We'll tell it later if someone ever asks. Actually, you know what? Go listen to my other podcast. We talk about it on there because it's Ben's fault that I'm fucking haunted.
Yeah.
Unironically, Benjamin also haunted the fuck out of me.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, that wraps us up for this week's episode of Lost in Louisville. I hope you enjoyed listening. Check us out on YouTube. It's where we post all of our videos. Maybe by the time this goes up, we'll be on Spotify or whatever. Or we'll be under the same name, Lost in Louisville.
Yep, we'll make a big announcement. We'll make sure you guys can find us.
Check us out on Twitter at Lost_Louisville. It's where I post links to the show. I tweet out when the show goes live. If I remember, we should start taking pictures of the food. We keep fucking forgetting.
Well, this time it just felt like weird.
Yeah, because it would have been weird because there was one lady and us in the restaurant.
And a child.
And a child running around. So, there's that. So I guess we'll see you in 2 weeks, everybody.
Good night.